greeted, wary now. He'd been a police officer for 9 years. He recognized this silence, this somberness, this stillness too well. "What's wrong?" His eyes darted from man to man. His captain, Toby Anderson, spoke in a grave tone. "It's bad news, Chris." Christopher's stomach seemed to drop 2 inches. "An officer went down." "Afraid so." "Who?" Nobody spoke for 10 seconds. "Who?" Chris shouted, his dread mounting. Anderson replied in a low, hoarse voice. "Greg." "Greg?" Christopher's features registered bald-faced surprise, followed by disbelief. "Wait a minute. Somebody's got their wires crossed here." Anderson only shook his head sadly. His gaze remained steady on Christopher while the others studied their shoes. "But you're wrong. He's not on duty today. He left the apartment no more than an hour ago to come over here and get his check. Then he was going to the bank. Then he had to stop by his mother's house, and as soon as I picked up my Explorer, we were going to buy a water tube and go out to Lake George." "He wasn't on duty, Chris. It happened on his way here." Christopher felt the truth shoot through his nerves to his extremities and turn them prickly. He felt his head go light. "Oh, shit," he whispered. Anderson spoke again. "A pickup ran a red light and hit him broadside." Shock created havoc inside Christopher and hammered his features into hard, unaccepting lines. He dealt with tragedies daily, but never before with the death of one of the force, certainly not with the death of a best friend. He stood in the grip of conflicting reactions, his human side sending a heat and weakness streaming through his insides, while the trained lawman maintained an analytical exterior. When he spoke, his voice came out patchy and gruff. "He was on his motorcycle." "Yes, he was." Anderson's pause, his throaty voice precluded the need for details. Christopher's throat closed, his chest constricted, and his knees began trembling. But he stood his ground and asked the questions he'd ask if Greg were some stranger, little realizing that shock had him operating as if by remote control. "Who responded to the call?" "Ostrinsky." Christopher's eyes found the young police officer, who appeared pale and shaken. "Ostrinsky?" Christopher's eyes found the young police officer, who appeared pale and shaken. "Ostrinsky?" Ostrinsky said nothing. He looked as though he'd been crying. His lips were puffy and his face pink. "Well, go on. Tell me," Christopher insisted. "I'm sorry, Chris. He was dead by the time I got there." Out of nowhere came a hot smack of anger. It sent Christopher whirling in a half circle, flinging a chair out of his way. "God damn it!" he shouted. "Why Greg?" Beset by passion, he lashed out with the most simplistic blame. "Why didn't he ride with me? I told him I didn't mind taking him by his mother's house. Why did he have to take his motorcycle?" Anderson and Ostrinsky reached out as if to comfort Christopher, but he recoiled. "Don't. Just let me. Give me a minute here." He spun away from them, marched 2 steps to an abrupt halt, and exclaimed again, "Shit." Fear roiled within him, spawned by a shot of adrenaline that turned him hot, cold, trembly, made him feel as if his entire body could no longer fit inside his skin. Working as a cop, he'd seen reactions like this dozens of times and had never understood them. He'd often thought people hard when their response to the news of death took the form of anger. Suddenly it was happening to him, the quick flare of absolute rage that made him storm about like a warrior rather than cry like a bereaved friend. As swiftly as the anger struck, it fled, leaving him shaken and nauseated. Tears came. Hot, stinging tears, and a hurt in his throat. "Oh, Greg," he uttered in a strange, cracked voice. "Greg." His fellow officers came up.